Before servicing this snowblower, always remove or disengage the batteries. To replace the handle assembly, position the snowblower as shown here. Start the disassembly of the handle by removing the T20 Torx bit that secures the signal wire cover. With the cover removed, press the tab on the plug and pull the signal wire from the slot. Next, remove the four 13mm nuts, 2 on each side of the unit. Save these nuts and the washers for reassembly. On the right side of the unit, remove the 10mm nut that secures the chute deflector controlling wire. Beneath the chute rotation handle, there are 2 T20 Torx screws. Remove these screws along with the 2 T20 screws on the chute rotation handle sheath. The chute rotation assembly can now be removed from the handle assembly. Release the signal wire from the hook and separate the hook from the tube. This hook will be reused. Continue the repair by removing the 4 knobs and carriage bolts, 2 on each side. Take care to support the handle when removing the carriage bolts. When mounting the new handle assembly onto the snowblower, the 4 knobs and carriage bolts will be reused. When reassembling, make sure the signal wire hook is mounted with the rib aligned with the hole in the handle tube. Then attach the signal wire. Next, attach the chute rotation assembly and route the cables into the signal wire hook as shown here. Continue by attaching the chute deflector cable using the 10mm nut. Then replace the chute rotation handle sheath using the 2 T20 Torx screws. Plug the signal wire into the connector. Insert the wire into the slot as shown, being careful not to pinch it when replacing the signal wire cover. Replace the 4 13mm nuts, making sure to include the washers. Tighten the nuts in the order shown here for balance. With the snowblower on its deck as shown, remove the signal wire cover, which is secured with a T20 Torx screw. Press the tab on the plug and pull the signal wire from the slot. Then release the signal wire from the hook. The battery box must now be removed. Start with the 4 T20 Torx screws that secure the PCBA box cover. Then remove the battery box cover, which is secured with 2 T20 Torx screws, 1 on each side. Next, remove the 5 T20 Torx screws that secure the inner cover. This will expose the 2 electrical contacts. Continue by removing the 6 T20 Torx screws inside the battery box, 3 on each side. Then remove the 4 5mm hex screws on the outside of the battery box, 2 on each side. Once all of the battery box screws have been removed, release the 2 power terminals as shown here. Then loosen the 4 5mm hex screws that secure the PCBA assembly. This will allow for removal of the battery box, which is secured with locking tabs on each side. Removal of the battery box will expose the other end of the signal wire, which is connected to the PCBA assembly. Press the terminal to release the plug. Now loosen the 3 wire clamps, which are secured with Phillips head screws. The signal wire can now be removed and replaced. Please refer to the EGO service diagram and parts list for specific parts needed for this repair. Always use genuine EGO parts.